Good morning. Welcome to my living room and welcome to my bounty of Rock Auto boxes. There's going to be a few magnets in here. Good morning, everyone. Today we are working on the Saturn. I spent $560 odd on Rock Auto because reasons. So we're basically going to be rebuilding the Saturn, but first we need to get all the stuff out of the boxes that are too heavy for me to lift. So, nice to meet you. There's 3 boxes to choose from here. I guess we'll just get started with this one. I don't even remember what all I bought. It's been a minute. Okay, let's see here. We got ourselves a coolant hose. Yeah, remember that was the there's magnet number 1. DSM. Looks like a motor mount, front lower control arm, a front lower control arm, part 2. Another motor mount, and the lower motor mount. I still love how incredibly tiny this thing is. And what are these? They say TYC. Oh, are these the headlights? It's very difficult to do with one hand. What do you think? Yes. Whew. Wow. That's gonna be a big visual difference there. Okay, so this box just has the headlights left in it, so we're just gonna... Here, you watch this. Grady, keep an eye on that. This one's kind of moist looking. Oh, very heavy too. It's just struts, 3 of them. 1 front and 2 rears, looks like. So this should have the other strut. Oh yes, brake pads for the front. I've got rotors elsewhere. More suspension bits. Oh, the Moog rear control arms. So we've got front control arms, rear control arms. Well, we got the battery and airbox and tray and whatnot out of the way. And here's our first mount. This is the upper torque mount. There's 2 of these. The other one is down over there somewhere. Trans mount is under the trans. You can sort of see below here there's a cross member. Trans rests on that. And then of course we got this big guy right here. I'm gonna get these 2 done since I can do them from up top. And then I guess we'll work on the headlights. We're gonna fix the high beam wiring, install new headlights, and then we're gonna replace the wiring to the trans there because ew, that looks terrible. So it looks like it's a 15 for this and a 13 for that. And I'll just get that out real quick. And seconds later, there it is. Boy, that new one looks a lot flimsier. Headlights, they're out of here. We can see just the little tiny pieces of wire that were left by the mice. We're gonna strip those, crimp on these that we cut off from the salvage yard, and then we are going to be more or less ready to put on the new tail lights. Fun thing, I have a new trans connector here. This one all is white wires. I don't understand. So I might get to that one. I might not, who knows? So I guess I will cut and strip and crimp and reattach all of that. Everything else looks pretty okay. This was grounding out. These are ground switched. This was grounding out, and causing issues. So it'll be nice to not be dealing with that anymore. And then we'll get moving on to the... What side of the car is this? The passenger side main motor mount, which looks very sad indeed. I don't know what I'm saying. It's very hot out. That is the trans harness, pretty handily taken care of. Just went one at a time. Looks like there is a proper orientation for this, of course. There's a tab here on the back side, which there's a little like notch on the front. And then I just untangle each wire, and there we go. Nice, neat little bundle. And as a bonus, there's a bit of extra room now to wiggle around. So it was pretty straightforward. While I was working on that, Tyler showed up, and he wanted to work on the Corvette. I think he's a little upset that I've let this thing sit in the garage, but it doesn't have AC. So he is working to rectify that by replacing the blend door actuator. What's up?
Hi.
How's it going?
I got the old one out.
Oh, really?
Underneath of my head. Yeah. Bolt it back together, but yeah, there's your old one.
Nice.
So here, I'll hop out of the way so you can.
CEI. That's a different brand than the new one, which did come in a GM Genuine Parts box. I ordered it from Rock Auto.
Probably just a different vendor.
This was just doing absolutely nothing when I spun the middle dial. This is the driver's side one. There's only one when you have manual HVAC controls like this. The GM procedure for this is to remove the entire upper dash and gauge cluster assembly, but internet says you can go in from the bottom and
I don't know how well you're going to see that, but yeah, it's just right up in there.
So it was just the lower, what all do we have to remove? Just the lower,
just that lower panel,
kick panel?
Yeah, it's actually just held in by little Christmas tree clips.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. You don't even have to take any screws or anything out, and then you've got two 5.5 millimeter screws because GM, like Ford, they like to use them.
Well, that's extremely simple, actually, and I could find no videos or instructions on how to do this on the cars with the manual HVAC controls, so we're kind of blazing a new trail here. Well, you are. I'm
was that a GM reference? Trailblazer. But
cool.
yeah, it's. I mean, overall, it's a pretty straightforward procedure.
Yeah. So
I just pulled the panel, look up, and you can see the actuator hanging right there. This one does have Bose stereo, so there's I don't know if it's an amplifier or like it's some sort of Bose module that sits right there. It's got two 7mm screws. I didn't bother taking it out.
Okay, internet suggested removing that, but
yeah, it would make it a lot easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, internet said remove the Bose amp and lower kick panel. So, hey, the fact that it's doable without means that it must be super doable with that actually out of the way.
Yeah.
So maybe tomorrow we go pull vacuum on this and see what it do. I can't imagine that the compressor is burned out or anything.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah, it actually does not have AC. Beyond just not being able to blend back to cool, it actually does not have AC. So there is more yet to be done before this
That's what this is for.
True, and this will be tolerable now that it won't be blowing just heat on me all the time. Assuming that it's actually the blend door actuator. It could very well be the resistor in the module, but those are like $400 for the controls. Or Parts Express, because it is literally just a rheostat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we could easily rebuild that module if we have to. But hey, I figured at any rate, blend door actuators are a thing that go bad. Might as well do it. It's a 25-year-old part.
And this car was underwater, so any electric, judging from the corrosion I saw under there, yeah, it was definitely wet at some point.
Don't say that. Probably just got humid.
Yeah.
It's pretty humid right now. I'm dying.
It got moist.
Moist. Well, that actually looks quite nice. I'm very pleased with that. So now it is time for the passenger side motor mount. Got a jack supporting the engine. And it looks like the only tool we need for this, and watch me be wrong about this, is a 15. So I'm going to break these 5 nuts loose and run them off here and get that new guy in. I hear sounds of joy coming from over here.
Yeah.
What do we got?
It works.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Just if you want to poke the camera in there, you can turn that deal and you can hear it. It moves actually kind of slow, but yeah, under there I can see the mechanism spin.
Nice. I wonder if I can I cannot tell what I'm looking at.
I don't know.
I hear it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Hey, if it blows ambient temperature air, that's a heck of a lot better than everything going through the heater core, and I'll be happy. So yeah, we're gonna use this thing for a parts run, because of course that needs more parts. And actually, I think I'm pretty much done with everything from the top now. It is time to jack up your car, and then we can like race to see who can get a corner done first. Struts, lower control arm / ball joint, and lower control arm bushing and brake.
So the wheels won't fall off.
So the wheels won't fall off. And then on this side there'll be a motor mount. On that side there'll be a motor mount. And then the rears.
Fixing all sorts of stuff today.
Yeah, I am fixing all sorts of stuff. I like. I'm very excited for that thing. Honestly, I might be more excited for that plastic GM car than this plastic GM car, which is kind of sad. This one had further to come. This one's more of a redemption story. This is just a bougie toy that I picked up that we tinker with.
It's neat.
It is neat, and it makes good noises. I'm kind of excited to drive it to... Actually, you should drive it to the parts store. You haven't driven this thing yet, have you? Hell yeah. Okay. All right, let's... Oh, right. Let's data log it on the way to the... Because we think it might be running lean.
Oh yeah, you have your tablet.
Yeah. Oh, no! I don't have my tablet. Ed has my tablet.
Well, we'll go to Ed's, get your tablet.
Yeah, let's go to Ed's and get my tablet. Got the engine bay back together up top. New motor mounts in. Car is lifted up. I mean, it's even if you lean a little bit like this. And we're doing pads and rotors while I worked on a lawnmower. What are we doing here?
Sacrilege.
Yeah, I have the right tool for this in the shop.
Everybody's gonna complain. But honestly, this works the fastest. Most disc brakes, you can just pop a pry bar, flathead, something like that. I mean, I've done this on...
Don't tell on yourself.
Everything from, free shit boxes to $100,000 Mercedes. It works. But, yeah, just use a little bit of leverage to compress your pads,
and then you get to discover how overfilled your brake reservoir is.
Yeah, it's it might be leaking out a bit, but yeah, just push it up against itself, and now your rotors are compressed, and yeah, your reservoir was very overfilled. So,
alrighty then.
Yeah, I've got the other side disassembled, and this side's pretty much the same.
Yep, so we need to remove this.
Honestly, I think I'm just going to pull these two on this and not even... Well, we got to grease the calipers.
Yeah, grease the calipers, pads, rotors, and then unbolt the entire sway bar and do the lower control arms.
Yeah.
And then I figure we'll do the struts last.
Always. Every time you do brakes. Always. Grease your caliper slides.
Yeah, otherwise you'll be doing the pads again real quick.
Yeah. And as far as pads without rotors, I'm going to let you guys argue down in the comments.
Comment below.
Yeah.
Do you do rotors when you do pads, or do you just do pads sometimes?
So, what you do...
The correct answer is it in spec or not?
There you go. You measure the rotor. Usually it'll be printed on the rotor somewhere what the minimum thickness is. And if it's above minimum thickness, just put your new pads on. If it makes you feel better, have them surfaced. But
Yeah.
Mercedes, their guidance is if it's in spec, just put pads on it.
Yep. In this case, this one doesn't have much of a lip, but these are warped, so
yeah,
it's getting new.
They're
crusty.
incredibly rusty.
Yeah.
So
it's just they're so cheap for this car. I mean,
what are they? $10 a piece?
Yeah, and the fronts are smaller than the rears on my BMW.
It's one rotor, Michael.
What could it cost? Okay, so over here, while he's working on that side, I gotta get this. Is there anything holding this in? Is this just sitting here? There's a motor. There's a trans mount in there somewhere. We'll find it.
What we got done so far?
Well, we got the brakes off, and I just did the lower trans mount here. 2 10s and then a 15 from the bottom. It's kind of a pain to get out. You gotta put a jack under the transmission and get it up as far as it'll go. Here's the old one. Comes out like this, and then you'll want to kind of lower the transmission halfway and get these 2 bolts in so that you know everything's going to line up. Drop it back down, put the nut back in, away you go. And then this big cover just kind of goes back in here. That is backwards. Goes in like this.
How'd you do that?
I don't know, man. And there's just one push pin that goes in the bottom, holds all that on. So that's the lower mount. I'm so excited to see how smooth this is going to be. So next thing is going to be, Tyler got the brakes zip tied out of the way. We're gonna pull off the sway bar, which will give us better access to the lower control arms, do all that rigmarole. And then once that's back in place, we'll do the upper strut. I don't want to do it all at the same time because I don't want to separate the CVs inadvertently by letting the knuckle dangle. So, you know, no one wants a dangly knuckle. Oh, I thought that was someone coming for us.
World's cleanest Cobalt.
It sounded like something one of our friends would drive.
Felt like something Ed would drive.
Yes, I thought it was his Range Rover. But we're gonna go get nuggies.
What do we got?
Looks like red Loctite.
For the sway bar?
Yeah, like of all things, those were extremely difficult to get out. But now the sway bar is hanging, so we can get the. So on these cars, like a lot of other cheap cars like the Festiva, the front sway bar is also the forward to rear location of the wheel. In essence, it's like a front
Torque arm?
Yeah, torque arm or front control arm.
You look really comfy there.
Yeah, I spent like 30 minutes breaking down this box. So that I could sit here like this.
See, look, my hands are clean. Jake is doing work.
It happens sometimes.
To all the haters.
It does happen.
Occasionally.
I'm still going to be a princess with my cardboard box, though. Some ridiculously large fastener on here.
Torque to spec. Yay, that's all the motor mounts now.
Oh, you got the other one over there already?
It's on the. That was the trans mount. So the other dog bone is on the top. I did it earlier before you got here.
Cool.
So yeah, there's a dog bone here on this corner, dog bone on the opposite corner, and then there's an engine mount that it's hanging from, and a trans mount that it's sitting on. So it should be the smooth idle now.
Nice.
One smooth criminal. Now the fun thing that we've run into is the CV shafts do have to come out of the hub in order to get the ball joint cast on that off.
We might be able to loosen it, but my problem is how we're going to actually separate that without
Pickle fork.
having to be on top of it. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean...
Yeah, if we can break it loose with a wrench and pickle fork it apart.
Say that again.
Pickle fork it apart. Okay. We're
Oh, there's a bug in my drink.
We're losing the sun rapidly.
Okay. Bye, son. While Jake's off looking for his pickle fork, I'm going to go ahead and finish unbolting the struts and get this other control arm loose. Love that these struts have been in here for so long that they're basically corroded into the knuckle. I'd say those lower ball joints are probably done. They're completely dry. Love how I just revert back to Neanderthal state when I'm working here under somebody else's garage roof. Trying to pop this cotter pin out of here. Just wish I had my mean pliers. This was definitely a lofty project for a Sunday. Got it. What are we excited about, Jake?
Shiny new headlight.
Chinese new headlight?
That too. Fun fact, they don't actually pop in and out. There's actually a bracket with 2 bolts.
There's supposed to be. Neat.
New one came with it attached on the back. I was like, wait, what am I looking at?
Oh, hey, it's golden hour. This
Wow.
is actually really good. So, old grody headlights, actually, they weren't that grody. They were just very broken.
So now, we get shiny new ones.
And you also fix the high beam wire?
Yeah, high beam wiring is fixed, and now my adjusters will be fixed.
Yeah.
The thing that concerns me is it...
Snagged those out of the LKQ. What concerns you?
The bracket didn't fit in there all that great.
What? I mean, the headlights were like $50. What did you expect?
True. Go grab the other one.
And I'm gonna go ahead and break the other control arm loose, because we got this one, and shockingly it didn't require heat, so fingers crossed that our luck holds up. What doing?
It's peely time.
Oh god, that's the best.
Yeah, hang on, it's kind of hooked over the...
Why did they use saran wrap?
Right? This is not good peeling material.
You should have... Yeah. You ever watch those, like, supercar unwrapping videos? Oh no, this is gonna piss so many people off. Look at that. It's terrible. Oh, there it is. It's like the first sunburn of the season.
Yep.
This is more than this car deserves. You know that, right?
Yep. But it's a safety item, so...
I like that.
Yeah.
I do think we should paint the bumper. At least, like, flat black.
Yeah.
Because, you know, so many of these SL1s, the front bumper was unpainted.
Well, that's the whole thing. The SL1 had unpainted bumpers. The SL2s had painted bumpers.
Ah.
Wow.
Those headlights do look great.
Right? I mean, they're kind of but, you know, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So...
It's like the girl you take home at 2 a.m. when the bar's closing.
Tyler, do you want to share with the class?
Listen, I've lived for 34 years. Okay?
That's too many. It sounds like something a serial killer would say. That's too many. Let's change that.
Really don't like that.
I probably ought to grab this before it falls, but the strut is about to come out. Okay, Tyler's got it. I just stand here and hold the trigger. I don't think I'm even a little bit in frame, but... Hello! There it goes! Wow.
There it is.
Garbage.
Oh, oh no.
Oh no, you might break
More
it.
garbage.
We're gonna have a hell of a pile of old parts.
Almost enough for a new Saturn.
I guess I should go get the new struts, huh?
Yeah. Okay, front sway bar's out. Since we didn't have the socket readily available, we took the lower control arms out with it. So you can see the lower ball joints were definitely bad. And yeah, your thrust bushings were also very bad. So Jake left to go grab 24mm socket so we can finish taking those apart. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get the new struts, well, the other new strut in, and start buttoning everything up as far as I can go. And hopefully all we'll have to do is bolt up the lower control arm by the time he gets back. Also had to use the torch on that lower control arm bolt, and well, there was still some poop in there. It made interesting smells. You guys are lucky that there's no smell-o-vision on YouTube, because I could taste it. Yeah, that'll do. This one's a different color, but that's what you get from Rock Auto. On economy cars, the damping rates are a pretty broad guideline. It's fine. On the bright side, this thing's gonna handle way better than it did. May affect camber and caster, but also the torque arm sway bar were toast, so that was gonna affect toe and all sorts of things. So this thing could probably use an alignment afterwards. I was remarking about earlier, Jake bought the sway bar bushings, not realizing that they came with the lower control arm because the sway bar also functions as the torque arm. Now, did these new control arms come with a new castle nut and a new cotter pin? Because, yeah, they'll work. You know, my entire goal today was to do things that didn't involve ruining another pair of pants. Wow. Oh, didn't like that feeling.
Oh my gosh, I love how nice, shiny new parts look in an old garbage car. God, that makes my teeth itch.
Oh, Rotor, where art thou? How does one open the trunk in this? Squeakers are on the outside, right? Oh, wait, there's squeakers on both sides. Come on, you bought the absolute cheapest pads.
That was the second choice from the bottom. There is a very suspicious hole in this bucket of grease.
Did you at least put it in the microwave first?
Which fizzy death drink is your preference?
That one. Energy juice!
See, I supply fast food and energy drinks, and in this economy, that damn near matches shop rate.
98% Jake. You ever notice how things just kind of flow when I'm focused?
No. Is the control arm on that side?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to put the sway bar in it now.
Why?
Because there's no way to get the sway bar in them once they're both on.
Oh, that's terrible. Don't like that. You got your nut?
Got it in the hole.
Wow, so you legitimately do have to remove the control arms in order to change the sway bar bushings?
Pretty much.
That sounds terrible. Yeah, the only things we need on this side are control arm.
So we got one side pretty much completely assembled, but once you do that, you kind of constrain the lower sway bar, which makes it very difficult to get the other control arm in, because the sway bar wants to spring apart, and the control arm needs to bring it together a bit. So I suggested
Ratchet
strap. So here we are, doing ratchet strap things. These are some very ratchet straps.
Oh, don't have a metric ton of confidence. It's actually kind of working, which is astonishing. You'd actually be surprised with how much we use ratchet straps at the shop for...
I don't think I'd be that surprised.
Yeah.
The Corvette is back, and it's got AC now. Also, it's thundering and probably going to rain any time, so let's see how much I can get done before that happens. The other night we got lots done, by which I mean we got lots finished. The front suspension's all on, everything is bolted together and shiny, so I need to get the front down on the ground. And then back here, it's time to start working on the rear shocks, which the fun part of that is these are also struts, just like the front, and they go there. The bolts are there. You've got to remove the parcel shelf. Fortunately, the parcel shelf comes out pretty easy. Simply pull. Okay.
kind of unpleasant. Hey, look, it's the shock towers and the speakers. Sure is suspension. We're also going to be changing out this trailing arm here. The bushing is pretty gone. Just going to rip these off and do the strut first, though. There's a certain elegance of design with these Saturns. And rust, apparently. Very, very one specific location completely rusted. Well, that's not too bad looking. Now I get to copy and paste it on the other side, and boy howdy, this isn't going to need an alignment. There's so many eccentrics and slotted holes and everything else on this car. I mean, it's cool that there's that much suspension adjustability. Rear camber, that's kind of neat, honestly. The car is on the ground again. It's got... Let's go over everything we've done so far. We're not done yet because I still have to go to the junkyard and get a few things there. But we've got new motor mounts. Oh, the wiring. The wiring, new motor mounts, new headlight housings, new front shocks, all the bushings in the front, pretty much. Rear control arms, front lower control arms, shocks, springs, all around. The AC works.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Put a new compressor in it.
Yeah, new compressor. We're getting there. So now I'm going to put the rear back together. We're going to drive it for the first time, and it's going to be terrible because it needs an alignment, which is going to happen tomorrow. Because like there's camber adjustments on all four corners. Oh, the front caster is set by the sway bar bushing brackets, and I just kind of put those back wherever they would go. I'm not an alignment tech. I don't have the patience for that. I bolt the parts back on, and then I'm done. So I'm gonna put the rear like seat back together. Kind of annoying. I guess I'll do the passenger side first. Now I have to remember what order this happens in. I'm pretty sure this is first.
I really love the pattern on those seats.
Was I supposed to take the seat bottoms out? I get the feeling I was. Well, so the thing is, these guys have this little piece, and I can't see where it goes with the seat in place. There. Also, I'm pretty sure the package shelf goes on before this. It's been a couple days.
That goes through. Yep.
There we go.
Wow. The tie downs in the package tray.
Oh, yeah,
that's
look at this adorableness.
that's pretty. Oh, they have covers.
Two of them have covers.
I guess we'll find those at the junkyard too. It's actually not a terrible car.
There we go. There we go. It goes under like the floor trim on this side.
What's that weird looking car? It's asymmetrical.
The Nissan Cube?
Oh. Well, that too. I had one of those. Those are lovely. And I know everybody hates them.
Uh-huh.
Okay, a manual one would be very good.
No,
I know that it's basically just a Versa, but it's a better Versa.
I think this is like the Juke, where even the manual does not redeem it.
No, the Juke is terrible. Hands down. Oh my god. A minivan that's got stow and go seating, right?
Yeah.
But instead of stow and go, you have aquariums.
Okay. Also, the Corvette, which is not getting its own video. This is all getting mixed together. It's just a big smorgasbord of plastic General Motors stuff. We just put a new radio in it. It's that thing that we do.
It's that thing that Jake does.
It's that thing that
so
I
well.
do. Yeah. It has an Alpine CDA 9886.
So take us through all the quirks and features of the CDA 9886.
Well, first I'd like to direct your attention to the install kit, which fits extremely poorly because nobody cares anymore. It's Metra. Got it off Amazon, I think. But
link in the description.
The 9886 is what I had in my Jaguar XJS. I love this head unit. It is a generation old, I think. Flagship, I think. It's their.
It was basically the top tier single din head unit Alpine put out back in 08.
Yeah, and I went for a single din over a double din because a double din means you need to get an entire new this piece, the center console piece, and it ends up being like $800 to do that. Tyler gave me this head unit for some reason, and then the rest of the stuff was like $20. Picture on screen right now of the wiring harness. It is an absolute massive nightmare that all just crams in the back, and make sure you don't plug it in backwards like I did, because then it won't work. But the result is
you get the cool dot matrix display.
it's absolutely lovely. And it sounds fantastic compared to the stock head unit, which like the left channel would be like quiet intermittently and stuff. This speaker is definitely blown though, so new door speakers coming soon. But we also have an aux port now, so we can actually listen to music that isn't CDs.
That's a good looking dongle you got there.
And it just kind of snakes out of here because I couldn't find a better place for it at the moment.
It works.
It works. Maybe I'll drill a hole in the right next to the cigarette lighter here and run it through there or something. But for now, we're good for a road trip tomorrow. Except we're gonna send this thing for an alignment.
How'd you get the aux input? Because as you can see, this doesn't have an aux port on the front, and it doesn't have one in the back, right?
Right. Yeah. It's the aux adapter goes to AINet, which is Alpine's expansion bus. It was just like a $7 cable. I'll have a link to that in the description if anyone actually
Still has an old Alpine.
Yeah, has
with
one of
AINet.
these and cares ?
Yeah.
They also make them that go into the other port that's on the back. That's for like the. My Jaguar had the Parrot Bluetooth module, which actually allowed not only for calling but also audio streaming, which was real fancy stuff back in 2009. You know, even when Bluetooth was new, those of you who were around in 09, like my E92 back in 08-09, Bluetooth was a thing, but only for phone calls because important businessmen needed to conduct business on the highway, but they didn't care about such tawdry things as listening to music off their phone, because who was doing that in 08?
I don't think Spotify existed in 08.
No, it didn't. I had all my stuff on MP3s on my...
Was it an
What-
RCA Lyra?
What did I have
I
back
had
then?
one of those.
I had a Samsung SGH i760 back then with my
I had
music
one of
on
those
it.
too.
That thing was terrible, actually, but I loved it.
I also had the Juke.
I then had a bunch of HTC phones, but I had all my music as MP3s that I ripped off CDs, and I was real upset when streaming became a thing because I didn't have enough. I couldn't afford like a data plan to do streaming, and everyone was streaming, and I was upset because all the apps like Google Play Music stopped being just for local music and started being a streaming app, and I was all upset about it. And everyone was like, "Oh, get with the times." Well, now, streaming apps all suck in various ways, and I just want to listen to Flax, but nobody deals with Flax anymore. I don't know. Actually owning your music has become passé, and now it's hard to get, and it's upsetting. Anyway, let's go drive the Saturn. I'm real curious what it's like. Let me move this out of the way. Yeah.
It's a good burn.
Okay, let's see how it is.
Still starts. That's good.
Brakes back. There we go.
Oh yeah, because we
pushed the
calipers down. There's no vibration at idle anymore.
Yeah.
That's great. The AC works, which is very lovely.
no clunking going in reverse.
That's good. This car is going to be so good.
For someone, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't feel the suspension going as it regains its camber after.
Yeah. Maybe
Headlights need a little bit of an aim.
it's all right. Low-flying craft can become positively identified. And it doesn't smell like poop in here anymore, which is
It didn't make any
lovely.
weird noises leaving the driveway. It didn't clunk when I changed directions. The steering wheel's not any further off than it was before. It has high beams now, and the light wasn't flickering.
Oh.
So my high beam fix worked, and it's shifting through the gears. So my transmission wire fix worked as well.
Oh, was it being goofy?
No, I was just worried that I messed it up and the transmission wouldn't work. Oh, I forgot to bed the brakes in. Hang on.
Do it now.
I'm going to.
I have my seatbelt on.
That's good.
And that's a red light.
You'll need it.
Oh, jeez. Wow. You know that sensation when you go over a hill on a roller coaster?
Yeah.
For some reason, a Saturn just gave me that.
It's not wandering all over the road anymore.
it's actually pretty good.
It actually tracks straight. It's not pulling. Here we go again. Damn, those are good brakes.
Why is it doing that?
What a car. What a little car. It is one of the cars of all time.
It certainly is.
It certainly does exist. The windshield looks like somebody tried to wash it with sandpaper, which is actually terrible at night. I'm not sure what to do about that. I might try hitting it with like some McGuire's M105.
Steel wool? No, I'm serious. Like
Really?
quadruple zero steel wool will polish it the best you possibly can without making it terrible.
Wow, it rides good! This road is terrible. Like, I specifically chose this section of road because this is genuinely terrible. Wichita, get your shit together and fix this section of road. I don't remember what this street's. Oh yeah, the 5 series or 7 series.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah! It's on them
Got
fangs.
them things.
Okay, look at this Bronco.
What in the
They've got flares on like.
stock offsets?
Yeah, it's a big bend, but it's like they put base model wheels on it because they preferred the tires or something. I don't know what's going on there, but it looks horrendous. That's wide open throttle, by the way. It is not rapid. I don't know. I think I might break off our Junkyard Adventures into another video because I want to get this one out. Oh, also, leave a comment on what you think I should get for vanity plate for the Corvette. I'm split right now between jorts
That's my vote.
and goblets.
Or
Or
New Balance.
like NUBALNCE, NUBALNC. Yeah. Well, leave a comment on what sort of Corvette-tastic plate I should get for that thing. I'll register it one of these days.
It has to be boomerific, though.
It does have to be boomerific. Oh yeah, here's a look at all the parts that we took off this thing. 4 struts, headlights, the neighbor kids on their mini bikes. I put a new carb on that. Or intake.
Yeah.
There we go. The Saturn is much better. Tomorrow we'll get it aligned. It'll be much, much better. And then we'll replace some of the things that have not failed yet, but might, like the radiator that is shaped like this.
Yeah, we can hear how unbalanced the fan is.
Yeah, the fan does not sound happy. Thanks for watching.